How to talk to girls. Never run out of things to say. Keep the conversation going. There are more than 1,001 things to say while having a conversation with a girl. To keep the conversation on, it just really depends on knowing what to say or even knowing the right or wrong things to talk about to keep her interested in the conversation. Don't forget that sometimes the conversation is definitely supposed to end, but it shouldn't have to end before it is meant to. After watching this video, click the link in the video description to download our free guide on the 5 secret checklists to living happily ever after. Make sure you read these few tips below to help you out if the situation often happens to you. Number 1. Be relaxed. Being relaxed while having a conversation is the first step of not being tense and eventually running out of things to talk about. While you're relaxed, your brain will be able to process different thoughts, ideas, questions, and topics to bring up in the middle of the conversation. Just act normal. Don't get so worked up, even if you feel a rush of emotions or the regular awkwardness that comes up while talking to a girl. Give yourself a minute or two to get yourself back on track and jokingly use something around you to spark a conversation, and you can kickstart the conversation again from there. Number 2. Say what's on your mind. You should often say what's on your mind. It may not always be appropriate, but it definitely helps to keep the conversation going. But it doesn't mean that you should say offensive stuff. You can apologize if it seems like you stepped out of the line, like getting too personal and moving on to another point, but she'll appreciate you saying something rather than you being mute for a while. Just don't allow the silence to last forever till she gets bored and wants to leave. Women love to talk most of the time as long as you give them things to talk about. Number 3. Create a conversation before asking a question. This might be a bit tricky, but it's actually very simple. You can just want to ask how her day went or even want to ask if she has eaten. But you can just ask the question plainly so it doesn't end up like a question and answer forum. Number 4. Talk about things around. One of the best ways to keep a conversation going is to talk about things in your surroundings. You can go on a date in a restaurant and just find the ambience very cool, and you can include that in your conversation. This should roll into other things you can talk about, like places you've been to with the same type of ambience, or compare some other restaurant services with the services rendered in the location you're having your dates. You can as well just be fascinated by the plates they use to serve their meals, and the girl may have enough things to talk about concerning that, since she will have more experience and stuff like that. In all you do, just keep the conversation interesting so as to get her attention throughout. Number 5. Don't just be a listener. As much as you want to know about a woman, she definitely wants to know about you too. So while trying to keep a conversation going by asking her different questions, you might also want to talk about yourself in regards to the questions you're asking her. Don't get it wrong, a woman loves a listener, but at the same time, she also wants to know about the person that she's just getting to know. She wants to know about your past and present life, know about your relationships and all sorts. And most importantly, don't cut in while she's talking. You get your time to also talk. Don't just make it about her, make it about both of you because you're both involved in the conversation. Number 6. Talk about your mutual interests. After getting to know each other and discovering you share certain similarities, you might want to use that as a topic in your conversation. She might just be a fan of football as much as you are, and this can help you create a conversation. Ask her about her favorite players and you tell her yours in return, the football matches you've enjoyed watching, the twists and turns in the game. Doing this can buy a lot of time and gives you the edge of not being that regular boring guy she went out with. Now click the link in the video description to download our free guide on the 5 secret checklists living happily ever after. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to like and share.